Finley, I'm Gonka. Nate, he's Austin. Chapstick, welcome Floor to the podcast.
What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Welcome to the Floor Chapstick podcast. Let's start off on a normal foot today.
Hi.
I don't want to. Let's glance over that cold open. My brain hurts from that. Jesus Christ.
I think I said all the right words.
Oh
We'll
my
see.
God. So, geez, yeah. What the hell, Austin?
He has been scatterbrained this entire time. Don't let him fool you.
Oh,
He
man.
had to go looking for his hat after already looking for 3 other things
Yeah,
before
it's
the
been
show.
a-
So
I'm just trying to get in order and do things quickly, but can't always do that.
no. So we have a few things to talk about this episode. You have a couple planned, and I
Yeah,
actually have a couple planned.
Let's
too.
start with the thing that's most recent. Over the last 24 hours, not by the time you're watching this, but at the recording, Rod Blagojevich had his prison sentence commuted and was released from prison and is now back home in Chicago. And as someone who is an Illinois resident and lived under his governorship, I think that's a fucking absolutely not retarded. Sorry,
Ridiculous.
can't say that word. Ridiculous idea, because not only did he sell a Senate seat
Or try to.
or try to, which don't know if he did.
I don't think
think
he
he
had the
tried
chance to.
but he still proclaims that he did nothing wrong and that it was just politics. Dude, like, what?
At least don't get caught.
Yeah.
Because I know it had to have happened before, so he's not alone. Don't get caught and then say you didn't do anything wrong.
Now people are saying that Trump should step his foot in on the Alderman Ed Burke case as well and say that he didn't do anything wrong and he's good too. It's like, come on.
It's gonna cause a shitstorm no matter what. It doesn't matter.
And the
what
thing,
happens.
what confuses me is, like, a lot of Democrats haven't been nice to Trump, and Trump obviously identifies as a Republican. Blagojevich is a Democrat, but he said last night at the Denver airport he's a Trumpocrat now, and I think that, like, the fact that he said that kind of scares me because there's, that puts a label on people who support the right and the left, and who don't want to say they're libertarian or the Green Party, but they support Trump, but they also support Bernie,
That's
or
gonna
they
make-
support
that's gonna
some of
cause
the
a big
left
confusion.
ideas. Yeah, it's just going to cause a fuck ton of wrong ideas, and that also may cause a whole new political party to form based off of this fucking idiot's ideas.
That's called an independent. usually it's an independent that is that. That's why that's already a thing. It's not, even if that was the case and it would be a separate thing that actually has a name versus just independent, you wouldn't see a big uprising from it. Like, that's why do you think you never see an independent really go anywhere in a presidential campaign?
Well, I mean, technically, wouldn't you consider Trump as one of our first independent presidents?
Yes and no, because he ran as a Republican. He was billed as a Republican.
But his political views are more conservative.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's more. He ran as a Republican, but like before, well, I was short-lived.
Yeah.
But before he decided to run as president, for years he was a Democrat.
Yeah, and the last few
So-
years, I mean, as his presidency, he's just been playing to the Republicans. But
Absolutely.
I think once he gets out, he's
I
gonna play
think
to
he's
both
not even really
sides.
playing to the Republicans. He's just saying what needs to be said and doing what needs to be done. Well, to a degree. But the whole thing with that is that even if it did cause a new party to this is the whole point, is that even if it did cause a new party or like a new like uprising, you're still never going to see anybody but a Republican and Democrat. It's always been a two-party
Yeah.
system. No matter what anyone tries to say, an independent is not going to get really much, if any, traction.
When was the last time you thought it was like a bipartisan political system working together, whether it's a Republican or Democratic president?
Never.
Yeah, you don't think you've ever
Never.
felt it was bipartisanship going
Never.
on?
Never.
I think maybe I think the last time I felt even a sense of that was, I don't know, maybe years 5 and 6 with Obama.
Maybe.
But
You know what?
5 through 8, I think. No, 6 through 8.
You know a problem that I actually was having a conversation earlier today at work It was a political like we were pretty much on the same side, but we were just kind of talking like just overall. And
Thought I had a burp coming. That was gonna be nice.
there was something that would not have been nice.
There we go. I didn't burp into the mic.
I know. But something that came up was the whole reason I consider myself is a centrist when you're between both, like when you agree with both and you don't have really one that's leaning necessarily. You agree with whatever you agree with, whatever. Like
Free
right,
thinker is what I call them.
yeah, whatever, right down the middle. But there's only one person that I just cannot get behind, and that is personally Bernie. I can't get behind him. The thing is, if he wasn't a socialist, maybe, because he does obviously have some views that work.
Yeah.
And he actually has a lot of conservative views if you look at his past too.
I don't know why people are overlooking the socialism idea so much.
No, the thing is, it's either people don't look at it and ignore him completely, or they're completely like, especially someone around our age, like those people who are the ones who are voting for Bernie because they're so for that socialism. They're so for like.
I mean, people our age is what the majority of the vote's going to be this year.
It's still the thing is that if Bernie ends up being the Democratic, like the nominee for president, Trump is the Republican, Trump's winning again.
I think he's just a piece in a puzzle like he was in the last election.
Yeah, we were talking about that I think last week, 2 weeks ago.
Because last election, everyone thought he was actually like a candidate, and then when he dropped out and sponsored Hillary, everyone was like, "Oh, he was just a piece of the puzzle for her campaign." Like,
yeah,
she wanted some competition, and he was it.
I just the thing is the problem that I have with the people who support Bernie, like obviously I don't agree with everything Bernie says.
I think they're kind of like, in a way, I wouldn't say they're. This is gonna catch some flack. And this is gonna, upset a lot of people. But in a way, I feel like they're a Democrats, the Democrat version of Trump supporters. They're really
degree,
in your face about it.
Absolutely. But I think the biggest problem that I have with them, a lot of them, is that they're ignorant to what Bernie's really going for, besides the universal health care and getting rid of student debt.
Yeah.
I always hear that response when people say like, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for Bernie because he's gonna stop me from having to pay my medical bills."
Those are my biggest issues with him. Is that how much? Yeah, you may say that it's free and stuff like that, but you know how much that's gonna cost?
Oh, they think it's gonna be. That's the thing, is that people think that are gonna be voting for Bernie don't think there's gonna be repercussions.
At the time in 2016, when he said that he wanted to do that, at that time our economy, they did the numbers, and if he was elected, it would cost us $84 billion per year to make that happen.
Sounds about right.
Per year. And we don't make that kind of money as a country.
Nope.
In fact,
Not
we
for that, at least.
We owe $36 billion right now to the Chinese government.
I thought it was trillion, wasn't it?
Nope, it's billion now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a significant amount drop though, because I remember it was trillions before.
Did you know we're like 2 minutes we're 2 minutes to midnight now on the doomsday clock?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. About 3 months ago we were 10 minutes.
Huh.
It moved. That's the quickest the doomsday clock has moved since it's been around.
Interesting. Either way, let's get off of politics. I'm just saying, I had this conversation. I thought it was interesting, but Blagojevich is where we started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But well, I mentioned something about Chinese government. Speaking of Chinese government, they have come to not I wouldn't say conclusion, but they're investigating the source of the coronavirus, of course. And right now, their findings are saying that it may have originated in the Wuhan CDC. The acronym WHCDC. CDC is Center for Disease Control. And what they say may have why it originated there is because they were keeping like thousands of animals there for, disease testing their blood and shit like that. And the blood of a bat got on this guy's skin. He eventually went to the fish market, ate the fish, and then so on, and that's how they think it spread.
Yeah.
But part of me thinks that, I don't know, a lot of people think I'm a conspiracy theorist, which
you are.
I guess. I think
we can go back to like 4 or 5 different episodes where you've brought up a conspiracy or 3.
I think the fact that the guy who tried to warn everyone about the coronavirus died from the coronavirus is a little fishy to me.
Oh, of course, yeah. I've actually completely
also
forgot
the
to read
fact that
that
they
article.
built a facility to treat coronavirus in 10 days, and the Illinois Department of Transportation and Road Services can't do shit for their roads.
well, that's just because Illinois is a piece of shit state that I can't stand and can't wait to move out of. But I can't
If
really move
fuck
out
you,
of yet.
pay me was a state, it would be Illinois.
Absolutely, 100%. Don't move to Illinois. Visit, sure, but don't.
If
move here.
Illinois was like a human in mob boss form, it would be Jimmy Hoffa.
That's an apt analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to move out of here. I can guarantee I'm moving out of here once I get the chance.
You know what I don't like about The Irishman?
Out of context, like if I didn't realize what you were talking about, I would have been very confused. Go ahead.
Is that there's only one guy in it that's Irish. It's about a whole bunch of Italian people.
Yeah.
And the whole movie really isn't even about the Irish guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's more based around his interactions with everyone, and it's centered on the people he interacted with.
Yeah. I actually haven't watched it, so I can't say for sure.
So why don't they call it like The Irishman's Interactions?
Because that's a mouthful and it's a lot easier to just say The Irishman.
Or The Irishman's Tale. Like that
It's
would be
a little bit better, but
because the mob and everyone denies that he was even there, so it's technically a fairy tale, and they don't know if it's fact or not. Because
aren't they doing more with that? Aren't they like was it a movie?
Yeah, it was a movie, but it was like a
Netflix
3.5 hour movie. But if you were smart and you didn't have 3.5 hours like myself, you'd watch it at like
2 times speed.
No, I watched it in like 20-minute segments, so I watched it like a mini series.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It was a lot better that way.
I feel like it would be.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next
I had
thing.
another point. There's two
another
people
point.
in the
He's
world
got
that I
another
will
point.
never that I don't think we'll ever be able to find.
Okay.
Carmen Sandiego
Okay.
and Jimmy Hoffa.
Okay.
Because I can find Waldo easily.
Yeah, no, Waldo's pretty easy to
Yeah.
find. Did you ever see that thing on TikTok about the guy who?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
he buys
Maria
a
sent me
Where's
that.
Waldo book, and then he scans each page, photoshops Waldo out, prints out the pages, glues it back into the book, makes it seamless, and then returns it to the bookstore.
So the next person who buys that will never find Waldo in the book.
Here's the thing: I wouldn't do it to a book at like a half price books, because who buys a Where's Waldo book that's used anyway? Like who buys one? Period. I would do it to a library book, because I mean,
Where do they even come from, dude? Like, I don't think I had like 6 at my house at one point, and I don't think I ever remember being gifted one, or like, because obviously I would have been with my mom when we got it, or like my grandma when we got it, but I don't ever remember getting one or being gifted one. Like, where the fuck do they come from?
I don't think I ever had one as a kid, surprisingly.
It's like, Where's Waldo books are like those little strawberry candies that you get on Halloween. Like, where the fuck do you get those?
Oh, you get them. I get them on Christmas, not Halloween. No, you know what I get on Halloween?
And pregnant Asian women. I've never seen a pregnant Asian woman.
Okay, you know what I get? You know what I hate getting on Halloween that I don't understand
AIDS?
where I get them? Yeah, those little black and orange candy, the peanut butter and molasses ones.
Yeah, where the
Those things are Have you ever eaten one?
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're bad. I almost threw up eating one. It was so bad.
They're not as bad as the strawberry ones, though.
I like those actually. They have like a weird Red Bull kind of thing, and I
Yeah.
don't even like Red Bull, so I don't mind them that much at least.
I like Red Bull. I like it better than Monster.
Well, that being said, let us take a quick break to hear from our sponsor.
This might be a shorter episode because I've got mad diarrhea today.
Oh, we still have 10 minutes on this recording. Okay, never mind then.
What are we at for like episode length right now?
Well, collapsing was at 17. I'm gonna say probably about almost 20 minutes.
All right, we might have to cut it at like 45 because I have really bad diarrhea and I got to shit like really bad.
Okay.
And I don't want to. Anyway.
All right.
Are we back?
Yeah, we are back.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Was there another point you want to bring up, or because I got a couple as well?
I want to apologize in advance. I know last week's episode was over an hour, and this week's episode might be.
I think it was 55 minutes.
Whatever.
About
It was
average.
close to an hour on average. This week's episode might be a little bit less.
We'll see.
I've got
The poops.
some bad diarrhea today.
I tried being nice about it. I tried.
I don't know how
I
I
tried
got
as best
that.
as
I
I
don't know
could.
where I got it. It just all of a sudden came up. Blub blub blub.
Just keep going. Just keep going. All right. So there's a couple things. These are just like little talking points, like quick little things. You know Tesla, obviously.
Yeah.
You know why I realized why I like Tesla.
Tesla.
Tesla, whatever. You don't have to. You don't have
There's
to.
no
fucking,
Z in it.
Tesla. It's Tesla.
What? Since when did? All right. We're gonna talk about this. When does a fucking S make a Z sound?
When you say Tesla.
Skittles.
That.
Subway. Sandwich.
See the shit I have to deal with.
Speed,
It's like how I say
Chapstick,
Chaps.
Game Grump. Oh, Game Grumps. No, Game Grumps.
Game
like-
Grumps. Yeah. So I've had this conversation with my dad before about another word. Okay, hockey sticks, they're made of a material. It's I'm going to just spell it out and see how you pronounce it. COMPISITE.
Composite.
Yeah, it's COMPO, my bad. I don't know how I fucked that up. So I say composite.
It's composite.
And the reason I say composite is because when I first started playing hockey again, I was watching a lot of YouTubers, and one of the main ones I watched was Hockey Tutorial, and they're English. And I heard the main guy who talks there, he says composite. And I knew it was composite. I've always known it's composite. But I picked it up and started saying composite. And for some reason, I've caught myself saying Z instead of Z before because I watch a lot of Australian and English
Yeah.
content creators.
I mean, people make fun of me for the way I say woman.
Woman?
Yeah. Like
I think that's how I say woman.
They say it's so like the wo is so forced, like woman.
Woman.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem
I don't
with
know
that.
how you say it. How else you'd say
Well,
it?
other
Woman.
people make fun of me for saying yesterday instead of yesterday.
Yesterday.
It's yesterday.
It's yesterday.
Yesterday.
I say sausage.
Sausage, yeah.
Yeah, or egg.
Chicago.
Someone says
Egg. I say egg.
Yeah, egg or egg. I
don't-
say egg.
I don't say egg. I think I might have used to.
I guess
but-
you can make that argument for the. I mean, obviously, you learned as a kid that like an E can make an A sound, but you never learned that an S can make a Z sound.
It's-
And that's my point.
It's just how I say it.
What
Because
I-
saying
now-
Tesla feels so forced.
Okay, see,
Tesla.
there we go. Now, for a second, I
Tesla.
forgot what fucking word I was ranting about. Tesla.
Either way, you know why I like their cars?
Why?
Because they're not flashy.
They look like mosquitoes.
I like that. They're not flashy. They're not like a Corvette where you see it driving down the road and you're like, that's a sexy ass car. Like you don't see a
I don't like
Tesla.
Corvettes.
And I like Corvettes, but you don't see them driving down the road and be like, "Oh, that's a sexy car." Like it's just a normal-ish looking car.
Some of them.
I'm talking about like the typical like Model S model, like the general, like the only Tesla I've ever seen that is gaudy or like is clearly stand out, like is gonna stand out, is the disgusting looking truck.
See,
which I love.
don't think it looks disgusting.
I
dude.
love how it
I think
looks.
it looks like he played too much Halo 1 and
Yep.
was like, I'm gonna build a truck like this.
Yeah.
And then took the design for a Warthog and
way
slapped
too
a
many
fucking,
polygons.
Yeah, slapped a fucking cover on the bed.
Or not enough polygons.
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah, I think that's the only
Way
one
too
that I've
many
ever
rhombuses.
seen. It's the only one that I've seen that is clearly gonna stand out if you're not paying attention, or even if you're not paying attention. You know, I don't know. I just really like how they look,
I think that
and of course they're fast as shit, especially being electric. So
that's a good case for them now, but I think when they were first introduced into the market, they were very flashy because
Sure.
people didn't know what they were.
yeah, they needed to get their image out there.
Yeah.
But like if you look at a typical Model S now, it's not like fantastic looking. It just looks like a good looking car.
Right.
You know?
And you see them, it's so like what's the
You know what it
term?
reminds me of? It reminds me of a BMW.
Yeah.
You see a BMW, it looks nice, or like a lot of Audis. They look nice, but they're unless it's like an Audi R8, like a brand new one where
Yeah.
it's fucking like crazy cool. You're not gonna be like
most luxury and sports cars, they're head turners. They're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But like brands like that, like Tesla, BMW,
Cadillac.
Audi, Cadillac, when they're first introduced to the market, those are big head turners. But now they're so.
normal.
What's the term where you see it so often? You see them so
You're
frequently.
desensitized to it.
Yeah, you're desensitized to it where you're like, oh, it's just normal to see that car, and you don't put it in your head that like, oh, that person paid a lot for that fucking car.
Yeah. Even
Like
though,
whether if it's
I would love to have the money to buy a Tesla.
dude, the cheapest one is like $150,000.
I don't even care. I want one. I think I've seen them for 80-ish.
I want the Model S because that's the electric and self-driving one.
Is that the right
Yeah,
one?
and it's like it updates it's like an app basically.
Yeah.
The
What I
computer
would
and the
love, I don't know if they do this, but I would love if Tesla better.
I would love to get a Model S because I could literally. It would be the first time. I have a bit now. As you guys know, I fell asleep behind the wheel, crashed my car a while ago. I have a bit now about that, and if I got a Model S self-driving, I could write an even better bit or add to the bit about how I could fucking fall asleep behind the wheel again and not have to be worried about crashing.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's not the only reason I want a Model S is so I can sleep behind the wheel. That would be fucking nice to take a nap every once in a while in
Yeah.
traffic, but
But I want Tesla to, you know how there are cars that are completely soundproofed on the inside so you can't hear the engine noise,
Yeah.
but it plays something through the speakers when you accelerate and everything.
yeah, my girlfriend's car is like that.
I would love if they could make that a thing, but you can download or pay for certain engine sounds. So if I want to go drive a fucking Ferrari 335, I can download the I don't know, what would you call that? Just download
engine
the
hum.
extension.
Yeah.
So then I can have the idle noise, I can have the startup noise be that, and I can change it whenever. That'd be so cool.
But how would that work with, like, if like you're driving and something breaks in the engine? Would that switch back to the normal engine noise, or
no? So if something were to go wrong in the engine, which so far I've never seen anything really go catastrophically wrong in a Tesla, but it'll tell you right away on the screen anyway.
Yeah.
Like any sort of check engine, it'll tell you what fucked up in it.
That's true.
So it would just be like, hey, asshole, you just fucking destroyed the inside. You just destroyed the inside of your car, which
Yeah.
I don't know what would really break in that. So
Earlier today, I got to, because I was up at Maria's last night, so I didn't have my car this morning to go pick up my check, so I was able to, I took her to her class that she had to teach, and then I took her car to get my check. She drives I think like a 2012 or a 2015 CRV.
okay.
And it's really nice, dude. I never thought I would like compact mid-size SUVs like that,
I hate them.
but they're really nice. It's got that, soundproof out inside where you can hear the engine hum like through the acceleration through the speakers. But the sound system, what I look for in a car really is comfortability, acceleration, speed, and sound system. And room, like cargo space.
You know what I would look for in a car? It not to be a piece of shit, and I didn't
yes.
get that. So
When
we'll
would
talk
they-
about that after I go pee.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we get into
Well-
your hunk of junk that you didn't get, I wasn't gonna tell you this because like me and him wanted to make it a surprise, but I mean, you guys know the day before I leave, or one of the days before the couple of days before I leave for Vegas, we're gonna try and get an episode recorded so we can stay on the release schedule. But two things real quick. I think by the time when this episode drops, we're gonna have one dropping shortly after it as well with a fellow Chicago podcaster who you guys will find more out about that if you follow the social links. But a thing I wanted to tell you is that when I am out in Vegas, Dan Farina, who you guys have met, and I will be recording the first ever episode of the Austin Free Podcast.
Blasphemy.
So we are going to record an episode. The first 5 minutes will be the roast of Austin Gonka. And then we will send it to Austin.
And I have to edit it.
And he has to edit about 40 to 45 minutes of me, and about 5 minutes at first of, well, he doesn't have to edit the first 5 minutes. Just has to clip a few things for us and then put a little rebuttal in at the end of the episode for his roast. And then next time we have Danny on, or when I get back, we'll call Danny and have a little conversation. Or me and Danny, or I might just have a vlog ready. Who knows? Me and Danny might just record a vlog. We were thinking about that, but
You should find like a library and then use their recording studio instead of using your phones.
no, he's got a laptop and a camera and stuff.
Does he have any microphones?
Yeah,
or
he's
anything?
got 2 microphones.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll see. We'll
but
see.
we
how
don't
it
have all
sounds.
the
Yeah, you don't
setup
have the
here
whole
like,
setup
like he does here. I hope you guys saw the setup on Facebook, on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's a pretty cool pic. I like that picture a lot.
yeah, me too. I love the camera quality.
Yeah, it's nice. Right?
And
Only if
announce
you get the podcast to regularly look like that.
Yeah, right. Quickly, I have a couple things I want to go over before we move on and get back on track here.
Okay.
A few of you have asked me when we're going to have more jump cut episodes. I haven't really talked to Austin about it. My personal feelings on it is I want to wait until my taxes come back and I get some financial stuff taken care of get Austin paid up here a little bit, and then I'm gonna invest in a camera like the one we record with. So when we jump cut, it doesn't, kind of degrade the quality a little bit.
So you're saying like a Joe Rogan type thing where you have a camera, I have a camera.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because we have that little corner space right there, and
yeah.
There's that. What else? I announced last week that we're having James Morgan on. His date will be moved. That will be announced later. There was one other thing I wanted to touch on. If any of you been last thing before, if I think of it, the main thing I wanted to think of. Last thing. This is just something I pulled out of my ass because I can't think of the other thing I wanted to mention. If any of you have been to Vegas and have ideas of, I would say adult things to do, but I wouldn't say like no fucking titty bars, no hookers and shit like that. I'm not interested in that. I think that's, I'm not going to degrade myself and degrade other people like that. If other people want to do that, let them do that. But if you have ideas for spots to hike, museums to visit, stuff to check out in Vegas, drop it below.
So give him ideas on how to be as boring as he can be while in Vegas.
Not boring. I have plans to go to like a casino, and I have a whole day already just filled with watching UFC fights.
Fair enough.
So,
fair enough.
Hopefully, I'll come back less of an aggressive person.
Nah. Oh, that actually brings up a point. Before we get into
I
the
remember
card.
what I was gonna say now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. This is a clusterfuck.
When I get back from Vegas, there will be. Oh, main thing. My Facebook page, comedy Facebook page, as some of you guys follow. In the next couple of weeks, that's going to be rebranded as the podcast Facebook page. So moving forward, the episodes will be uploaded there. We'll have weekly updates and stuff like that, polls, stuff like that. So watch out for that. And second thing, when I get back from Vegas, I will be releasing on my own personal Facebook page, and I'll be putting it on my IGTV as well. I'm going to be doing a spot in Vegas at a comedy club down there. So watch out for that as well. Moving on to your car.
Two things, actually. One, well, the car will be the second one, but there's one thing before that because you brought up less aggressive in fights and stuff. Would you rather have me with full boxing glove, like the 20 ounce, so it's got a good bit of padding? Would you rather me punch you square in the face or straight in the liver?
Straight in the liver.
I don't think you do. Have you ever seen liver punches?
Yeah.
I've asked quite a few people. I would rather get punched in the face every single day of the week. Because if you get a square, just straight up...
I'm afraid of getting my nose broken again.
I'm afraid of my entire body shutting down and potentially dying from my liver imploding.
Granted, like, I don't want to get... Like, I wouldn't...
You wouldn't want either, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree to, like, take a punch from like someone like you.
Well, I'm just saying, if
unless
you were
I like was weighed a little bit, like 10 more pounds or so.
Oh, I'm saying if you were forced to, like two people were holding your arms back, holding your legs, and you were given the option, would you rather me punch you in the face as hard as I possibly could, or just give you a straight hook straight to the liver? I would take the punch to the face every time.
I don't know, because a punch to the face from someone like you full force might knock me out, but a punch to the liver just might fucking hurt a lot.
It could also kill you if I go full speed.
Right, but it could also... I don't know. It could
I
also kill me if you punch me in the face hard enough, because my nose has been broken once before, so it could shatter and
sure, but you're more likely to be incapacitated and in a lot more pain. And fine, how about this? I will punch you in like right here, right in the cheek jaw area instead of the nose. So I might have potential to break your jaw or break your cheekbone.
I'd rather take a hook to the side. I'd rather take a hook to the face
just full on
than
bam.
A fucking...
Yeah, so just a full on a hook either to the liver or to the cheek.
Yeah, I'd take like a left or right hook to the cheek.
Okay.
Now, would you rather have Mike Tyson punch you in the face for 10 minutes straight for $5 million, or not, for 5 minutes for $5 million, or like not punch you in the face? Let me rephrase that. Would you rather get in a ring with Mike Tyson in his prime for 5 minutes, or get in the ring with McGregor, get in the octagon with McGregor now and try and hold your own for a round, and not a title fight round, not a main event round.
Yeah,
so
just
like,
a standard.
so
like,
5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 minutes. So 5 minutes with either one.
5 minutes with McGregor in an octagon, or 5 minutes with.
Are we going
Tyson
under
in his
proper
prime?
fighting rules for each sport?
Yes.
So
Either
I was
way, you
gonna
walk
say-
out with $5 million.
Yeah, either Mike Tyson. I was gonna say if it's just like a fight, like a UFC fight.
No, it's a
I just take him
boxing.
to the ground because I think I have a puncher's chance against
Okay.
Mike Tyson versus McGregor because he could take me down.
Then let me rephrase this. Then UFC. Then if we're going UFC, would you rather do a round with Kimbo Slice or Conor McGregor?
Kimbo, he couldn't fight.
Kimbo couldn't fight.
From what I remember, Kimbo couldn't fight. He wasn't that good of a fighter.
The reason Kimbo got into the UFC was because he would beat the shit out of people in his backyard. He was that good of a
Sure,
fighter.
but
he wasn't a good he wasn't a good ground fighter.
I would rather go against somebody who wasn't good on the ground and take my chances.
He
on
wasn't a
getting him to
good
the
ground defender and a good wrestler. But if he got you down and he got
Oh,
on
and he
top
got
of
on
you,
top of me,
you're
sure.
fucked.
I understand that, but I would rather take my chance on getting somebody who's not a good ground defender. I would rather take my chance and try and wrestle him down than deal with somebody like Conor McGregor who can defend and who can do just as much damage on the ground as he can standing up. I would rather take that wrestler's chance or that puncher's chance against somebody like. So to answer the original question, Mike Tyson versus Conor McGregor, I would rather take that puncher's chance against Tyson than I would against McGregor, because if McGregor gets me on the ground, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And if Tyson lands one good blow, I'm fucked. But at least I can defend a lot easier when I know that it's either body blows or it's to the head.
Right.
You know? So I would just defend myself as best as I can against Tyson, because McGregor, he just fucking take out my legs and get me on the ground.
The one thing that Kimbo Slice is one of my favorite athletes of all time because of not only because of the way he performed in his respective sport, but because of the stories of who he was as a person.
Oh, sure.
That dude, you look at him and he's intimidating as fuck.
He's intimidating.
Like, even if you're not in a room with him, you see a picture of him and you're like, I would not want to fuck with that guy. Like, if I was in
I
a
wouldn't
room
want to
with
fuck
that
with
guy,
him on the street for sure.
like, even if I walked into a coffee shop and Kimbo was just buying us coffee and I didn't, or he was in line, I'd be like, I'm fucking out of here, because if someone
wanna
fucks
go
with
that
that guy,
far.
he's gonna fuck that guy up, and I don't want to be,
I want to see that.
But Kimbo, like, from what I read and what I've heard in interviews and stuff like that, is that Kimbo was a fucking aggressive, fucking no holds barred, didn't give a fuck in the octagon. But outside, he was the sweetest, most down to
That's
earth,
usually how they
humble
are.
dude. And it's like, there's something about it. There's just a switch that dude had to have a fucking switch.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing is that, like, Jorge Masvidal, the new like hot shit in the UFC, he came from the same roots as Kimbo, like fighting in the streets of Florida. I gotta go blow my nose. Excuse me.
Oh, well, he's got to blow his nose. So we'll skip ahead now. So what he was talking about with the cars is that I went to a car auction with my parents on this past Saturday. So for you guys, it would be last Saturday, not this past one that just passed for you guys. And it was down. It was up in Waukegan, so we drove a little bit of a ways for it.
Well, not the one that just passed, because the one that just passed for them would be the day before this episode
I think
was
the
released.
camera just turned off.
Oh, maybe it did.
Let me go check on that. We'll be right back.
As I was saying, it's not the past Saturday for you guys, because that would be the Saturday before this was released. It was the Saturday before this was released. So Saturday before we recorded this. Well, we're still on audio, so you can just put in the fucking logo like you normally do.
I know, but I don't want it if I don't have to. Either way, keep going.
True. But this isn't much to. Since we're talking about cars, it's not much to talk about. It's because it's not a big news story yet. Daytona 500. Ryan Newman crashed. Got sent to the hospital, but he was released today. They haven't given any updates on what his full injuries are and stuff like that. But that was pretty fucking wild to see.
Yeah, that was scary. I was watching it when it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck.
I thought it happened. I thought the race happened the day before,
Well,
and I was making fun of
yeah.
Austin for watching it like on recording, and then I googled it and I was like, oh, it was postponed
Yeah,
the
it
day
was still
before,
going.
and then I felt like an idiot.
Car auction.
I think the car auction is actually gonna be the last thing we talk about, because my body clock is running low.
Okay, so I want two more. One will be super quick after the car auction.
Okay.
And then, so The car auction. My parents and I were actually going to go look at a GTP, a Pontiac Grand Prix GTP.
What is the GTP? It's Gran Turismo
Something. I don't know.
Pre?
I don't know. Because I know the Pontiac that we currently have is a GT. Same year, same everything, but the one that we were going to look at was a GTP, which means it's supercharged. So 60 more horse, and it's got the turbo in it. So we're like, cool, we'll go look at it.
Oh, the GTP is the Grand Prix.
Well, the Grand Prix, there's a GT1, a GT2, which is the upgraded version of the GT1, and then the GTP, which is the all upgraded supercharged version of the GT1.
It stands for Gran Turismo Prototipo.
So prototype or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Italian bullshit, even though it's
The
an American
supercharged
car.
V6.
Yep.
240 horsepower. Not bad.
It should be 260. I was looking at it. I was looking at the specs. It was 260. Either way, point being, we went there to go look at that car. Found it in the lot. Ended up having pretty much every light that you could possibly imagine lighting up in a car going off.
Jesus.
So we're like, yeah, no, we're not even gonna bother. It also had an exhaust leak, so no, we're good. But we're like, we're not gonna make this trip for nothing. We're gonna look around a bit. We found a couple nice things. We found there was actually one of those Kias, the like newer, probably I think it was a 2013 Kia. It was really nice. I was surprised that it was that nice. I'll find the exact one and pop it on screen. But found a couple trucks. I found what was it, like a 20-seater van.
Oh shit.
But the thing was beat to shit. If it was for the right price, I was very tempted to buy it if it wasn't such a turd, because that would just be hilarious. But we also found a BMW 3 Series, no check engine light, nothing squeaking when you start it up. It was in good condition. I think it was a bank repo. So we were looking at that one, and the last one we looked at was the. Actually, no, yeah, the last one we looked at was the Pontiac because we were curious on how much it would go for. So we looked through. The way this auction worked was it starts at 10. You can walk around the lot 10 a.m. It's Saturdays and Wednesdays. I don't know why I'm giving them like an advertisement, but it started at 10 a.m. We got there pretty much right when it started. It might have been like 10:30, 11 actually. So we look around the lot, find what we like, find what we don't like, and the auction starts at noon.
Wait, this is in Waukegan?
Yeah, Waukegan, whatever. Waukegan Auto.
Is it by
something.
the Belvedere Mall?
No, not that I can. Not that I
Speaking of
remember.
Belvedere Mall, they have the best elotes in the world there. $3.
It's good to know. Too bad we're probably not going to go down that way anytime soon again.
I
But
was there earlier.
either way, I'm talking about me. So the car auctions start, and they actually brought in like a 2012 BMW, like the real nice ones. I can't remember which one it was exactly, but
Like an M5?
something like that. But the starting price was $10,000, which is the only one that went above 5 as the starting price, from what I recall. It was super nice, and everybody was just like looking at it while it was coming into the lot, coming in to go next as a car.
What did you say the Pontiac horsepower was?
260 for the GTP, from what I looked
That
up.
would shit on mine. Mine's only 235,
Yeah,
but it's a V8, so.
but it's mine would be supercharged and it's lighter.
Yeah, mine's a 2002 Mercury Grand Marquis LS. Its curb weight is 4,000 pounds.
Yeah, the Pontiac's is 36.
Yeah, it's got a 4.6 V8. Get 25 miles to the gallon on the highway, though.
Yeah, that's better than the Pontiac. Either way, so we're going through, and one of the cars that comes through is a 2012 Mazda 6.
I like those.
Yeah, its starting price was, I want to say, 6.
What's the difference between that and a Mazda Speed?
No idea. I don't know about Mazda. I'll be 100% honest. I don't know much about Mazdas. But it started off at 6, and it was a bank repo. So they're going down, going, and they're about to pull it off the lot, pull it off from the auction site.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, we'll go for 1,000 and a call, like to call the bank." So my dad and I, our ears perk up, and we're like, $1,000? We'll take a risk on that. So we buy it for $1,000. So we got out with that one. Probably 5, 6, 7 cars later, there's a Suzuki Sidekick, biggest fucking turd. It was like a 1996 Suzuki Sidekick.
I want one in like turquoise that looks like the old Dixie cups. You know?
Yeah. This one was that same kind of green. It was that ugly, like almost. Oh no, it was more of an evergreen, like a Christmas tree green. But we're like, no one's touching this thing. Obviously, it's a piece of shit.
Right.
Didn't have check engine light for some reason, like surprisingly. But it was just a big turd. You could see the rust. Stuff was rotting out. It was a turd.
This one, the 92. You said it was a 92.
96.
This is the. He'll flash this.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
But
yeah.
you see the design.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
It looks like the
kind
old
of
cups.
design I want. I'm gonna save this so I can share it to you.
But my dad and I look at my dad and I was joking before it dropped down to like anybody give us an offer. Is literally he said somebody give us an offer on this thing. I was jokingly saying the $300 like under my breath, and my dad he looks at me. He's like, "You wanted to go for 300?" Like I kind of do. I kind of want to go with $300 for the thing.
Sidekick, right?
For the Sidekick, yeah. So my dad, the guy who was like walking around telling about the car and everything like that while the auctioneer was talking, he's like, "You guys want?" Because he saw us talking. He's like, "Yeah, 300." My dad's like, "Yeah, we'll go for it." So the guy says 300, puts up his hand. So there was actually a lady who ended up starting to look at the thing, which we didn't see at first. So she's looking at it, and they ask her, "You want to go 350?" Right? And she's like, "Yeah, 350, gimme." They look back at us, 375. My dad looks at me like confirming, you want to go 375 on this thing? Like, yeah, fuck it. It'll end up being $750 after fees and title transfer, all that bullshit.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll just drive this thing into the ground anyway. Like that was my entire plan, was to beat the shit out of the thing for a year. That's such a first world thing to say.
If it even lasts a year.
Exactly. As long as it lasts like even 3 months, that's worth it in terms of how much you would make for a car payment.
Right.
So we're like, yeah, fuck it. Well, she goes up to 400. I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
we're good at 4. We don't need it. We don't need it that
375 was even pushing it.
Yeah, exactly. But we were like, we would risk it for that. So we're like, we're done. We're calling it. We're going ahead. So then finally, 10 cars later, we're still waiting for the Pontiac and the Kia to show up. Those haven't shown up yet. That BMW that we were looking at too, that ended up like the lowest they said was 2,000 before they pulled it off. Right. My dad was actually gonna check after to see if they would go down to 15. So they would like make a call to. I think there was a reserve on it. But a 1998 Ford Expedition Eddie Bauer edition comes up. Interior looks pretty nice, and it sounded fine coming on the lot.
You guys had got the Mazda, right?
Yeah, we got the Mazda. Okay. Yeah, we had it by that point. Right? Mazda 6.
No, for how much?
For 1,000.
That's how much I pay for my car.
Yeah. If you want the Mazda, I'll sell it to you for 3.
300?
3,000.
Oh,
fuck off with that.
I was gonna say.
I'm not saying 300. We spent 1,000 on it.
I'm gonna sell my car when I sell it for like 15 because it's a 2002 and it's got under 150,000 miles on it.
That's good.
Got under 140 actually.
That's not bad. So my dad, like no one's touching this truck.
Yeah.
And my dad, he for some reason was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll look at it. Goes and looks at it. Interior is fine.
The older Expeditions are really nice. I like them.
The 90, like those things have a lot of issues. We were talking to my dad's cousin, who's our mechanic.
Yeah.
He said the things are a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like the 98, 99, 2000 kind of time.
Well,
those are
like
turds.
the 506 ones are really nice.
Yeah. So my dad, the auctioneer looks at him and was like, "You want something? You want this?" And he's like, "What are you thinking?" And for some reason, it was a charity car too.
Yeah.
Which is usually not a great sign.
What's a charity car?
Someone donates the car.
How is that not a good sign though?
Because usually those are the pieces of shit that people want to just get off their hands and get some sort of credit for it.
We can go till 7:30.
Okay. But my dad, for some reason, is like 800. No one touches it otherwise, so he gets it for 800.
Oh, nice.
The problem is that we go to pick up the cars. The Mazda, they didn't say that the check engine light was on.
So it was just
bullshit.
you and your dad at the auction?
My mom was with us.
Okay, I was gonna say if you got 2 cars, how you gonna get that other car home?
Yeah. So we go there. My dad ends up needing to pay. He should have taken the loss on the Expedition, and I'll explain why. Because it was a $200 deposit for each car.
What the fuck? Why do you have to pay a deposit?
In case you back out of the car, like say you get in a bidding war with somebody. You win the car for $3,000. You get buyer's remorse. Well, they just got fucked out of a sale for $2,900 from the other person.
But if you outbid someone on an auction, don't you have to pay right away, or do you pay at the end of the
No,
auction? when you leave?
we didn't end up paying until Monday, and we won it on Saturday. That's why you have to pay a deposit. They hold
And you
it
got
for
the
you.
car on Monday?
Yes. So what we did was we go there, and Mazda, it was an Uber. It was someone used it as an Uber. So it had 260,000 miles on it. They said 160,000. I'm almost 100% sure, but the paperwork was already done and everything. So still gonna sell it for.
Yeah.
We're still gonna make our money on it. That's not the problem. Or my dad's gonna make the money on it, so that's not an issue. But the Eddie Bauer, my dad was driving it. I was driving the Mazda, and my dad was driving the Eddie Bauer up to my dad's cousin's shop up in Sturtevant.
Right. This is picking me up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So it's a bit of a drive, about 25-30 minute drive. So I go ahead, obviously, because that thing has a little bit of giddy up, not crazy amount, but it's similar to the
Mazda
Pontiac.
does, right? Yeah.
Has a little bit of giddy up. Felt fine, drove fine. It just had a lot of miles, and clearly they had to have taken care of it if it was an Uber and had that many miles. So perfectly okay. Did its job. Got to the shop. I actually had to make a pit stop to grab a charger because I didn't know how to get there from where I was.
Yeah.
My phone was at 5%. Turns out we were 10 minutes away. So I could have I just had to get off at one exit, go straight for a mile, and I was there. So I just wasted $20 on a charger.
I fucking did that I did that at the airport in Denver. I fucking spent $18 on a phone charger, sat down, opened opens my backpack, and right on top is my fucking block. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
That's good. I've been there a few times, but not that bad where I open it up immediately after and find that. But so we get while I'm waiting for my parents, or while I'm going ahead of my parents, my dad he's driving, and after it hits 45, like it keeps speed fine and it drives fairly
Keep
okay.
talking, I gotta blow my nose again.
Unless you like hit a bump or something, and then it just rattles like shit, like fucking crazy. And once you hit 45, it starts shaking and rattling. And there ended up being something wrong with the front driver's side tire. So it's most likely like a ball joint or something.
It sounds like the tie rod.
No, because I know what a tie
sway
rod.
bar, or the fucking arm links or whatever, sway links.
Yeah, that was the other one that we were thinking about. It's one of those guys. Plus, we're also thinking the transmission's probably fucked. Just by going out. By the way, it was driving when my dad was taking it. It seemed like it was a transmission was starting to go too. But the funniest thing is, we're thinking it could have also been a coincidence that my dad hit something and it came from under the car. But my dad said the truck shook for a second, and something fell out from the bottom of the truck and almost hit my mom.
Yeah, that sounds like sway links.
It sounds like it's just a piece of shit that we ended up paying too much money for. But we take it to the shop, and my dad's like, just find out what we got to put into it. My dad said max $1,000 into this thing. We're gonna run it into the ground for a year. And of course, Chris. If you guys ever need car work done, A+ Automotive, talk to Chris. Tell him Austin sent you. I won't get anything for it, but it's helping out my family. So.
Or there's a automotive shop in Palatine off of Colfax and Smith. I forgot what it's called. Advanced Automotive in Palatine. They're good too. Tell them Nate sent you.
I'm only gonna put A+ on the editing. But either way, so Chris, he's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on. The Mazda, he's gonna check out, see what the check engine light is, all that good stuff. So we're gonna try and flip the Mazda, and then the Expedition, I'm just gonna drive that thing for a year and beat it to hell, get my money's worth, get 6 months of driving possibly out of it, and then get it towed away, like give it to Victory Auto Wreckers or something like that. But yeah, that was our story of the auto auction, which they had some nice cars. I'm not gonna lie, they had some very nice things. We just chose the wrong ones. So one last thing that I wanted to bring up is this is very specific. I don't think this would be something you'd be able to relate to. This is something I wanted to have out there for social media, for like a clip for myself, just to have. But there's a YouTuber that I watch. He's a hockey YouTuber, Pavel Barber. Super cool. I'm sure you've seen some of his trick shots, like his crazy cool shootout moves and everything like that. But he does lessons every so often at the ice rink that I play at. now, if you guys have seen my social media, you'll see I play goalie. I'm not a very good goalie, but I play it. But his lessons start right after the open hockey, the session of open hockey that I play at every Monday.
Like a YouTuber you follow?
Yeah, a YouTuber that I follow.
Is he pretty popular?
Yeah, I think at least 1 million subs. Probably. He might only have 500K for all I know. So
we got.
Yeah. So
Our sub number is so like fake. It makes it look like we bought them.
Yeah,
feel
I know.
So bad.
We've established that on the show that we haven't. But either way, he does lessons and everything. So I want to put out a message to Pavel Barber. Not necessarily a challenge, because you would absolutely destroy me in any sort of challenge. But because you're going to be doing the lessons and you're going to be on the ice anyway, if you per se wanted to do a shootout against me, I would not be opposed to it. I would, as a matter of fact, welcome it, because I would love to have the opportunity to say that I played against Pavel Barber. Now, I'm not saying to go to an open hockey session like one of the busy days like Wednesday and Mondays. Those are the two busiest days. But you're there from Monday through Friday. If you want to show up Tuesday, Thursday, I'm going to be there. It's during the remodel at my store, so I'm going to be there every morning. So, Pavs, let's make this work. I want to go against you. I want you to destroy me in every way possible on the ice. Maybe off the ice too. We'll see. So that's what I would love to go against Pavel Barber in a shootout, just because it would be so entertaining to see what he could do against me, because I'm not very good, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Did you actually see my Instagram post?
I did, yeah. I saw your photo dump.
Yeah.
Sorry, I seemed distracted on the texting.
No, you're
just
good.
Taking care of some business.
But I thought it was kind of interesting seeing my stance change and everything. It was kind of cool. But yeah, that was the episode. I think it was time to call it.
You know, I've got a few things that we could talk about maybe, but you know, my mind's going blank right now, so I'm sure I'll come up with it later at a later time.
We could always save it for next week, as long as it's not time sensitive.
Yeah, I got a green screen right now. Sunday, when this episode comes out, I'm sure I'll have some stuff put out. But if you guys have any ideas for us to use a green screen with that we could, you know, put out, let us know. It'll be
Maybe
cool.
have a decent looking set behind us.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next coming episodes. Follow us on all of our socials. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We out.
Bye.
To hear more options, press 0. What are you talking about?